Not. There we go. Hey everybody, today is February 1st. I lied, it's February 2nd. I was looking at the show notes. 2017, this is episode 63 of Run, Jump, Stomp, a podcast about video games and just about anything else. But Zap, I almost called you podcast for some reason. He's that guy that's right over there. How's it going, man?
All good, my friend. How are you?
Oh, not bad at all, not bad. We have a few things to talk about today. First off, Reassemble.
Oh, I've been looking at the show notes. Wow, failed from the start. Why are we not doing this on a Wednesday, man?
I don't know.
Deus Ex gone.
Windows 10 game mode.
Final Fantasy 12 remastered.
GameStop. Ooh, I couldn't talk. GameStop is sleazy. No surprise here.
Red Dead Redemption news.
It's contagious. Those stories and more on this episode of Run, Jump, Stomp. Stick around. All right, let's go ahead and get right into the first story. This is actually I think this happened right after the podcast last week. This came out on January 26th. So Square Enix and Marvel had an announcement. It was funny because they kind of said, we're announcing this. They both announced that they had something coming up tomorrow, which was the 26th, at the same exact time. So a lot of people were able to put these two together and realize that they had something going on together. But Square Enix and Marvel they announced a multi-game partnership, leading and beginning with something called Reassemble, and I forgot to shut off the music or the audio. And basically, they've just got some no gameplay footage really shown, just kind of some CG stuff featuring the Avengers, like their weapons, I guess. And it's from the same people who worked Crystal Dynamics, who worked on the new Lara Croft series, which is, that's really exciting to me. So, Zap, what do you think? Are you excited for this particular thing, or are you going to hold your breath and wait and see what's going on?
I'm not excited at all. Oh, I like that thing. I am so excited and so hyped for this. When the tweet went out, I was just like, I just sat there. I'm not lying. I watched it 10 times. Like literally, just sat there watching it over and over and over and over again. I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and sort of ran around the house like a lunatic because like two of my favorite companies in the whole world are getting together. I have to correct something. It's Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Interactive. So the guys who do Deus Ex and the Tomb Raider people, it's a multi-gaming partnership. So they're kind of made. It's Square Enix is like two sister or brother. I'm not fussy in either way. Kind of their studios are getting together, headed by Square Enix and Marvel, and they're basically making this Avengers universe. From a comic book geek side, will it tie into the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Don't know. I have got one gripe. One gripe. It does feel like Square Enix. It feels like this was the announcement. Oh, hey, me and Square Enix and Marvel are having a baby. And everyone's like, yeah! And they're like, oh, when's it due? Oh, we're just coming off birth control now. Because they're not giving us anything till next year. It's like, what? 2018 for this news? No. That's my one gripe. But apart from that, I'm so hyped.
That's par for
And
the
that's why I
course
was
from
just
Square,
hyped.
though.
No Man's Sky came out, and then it all happened.
That's par for the course for Square, though. Square always announces stuff
Yeah.
super early. I mean, Final Fantasy VII Remake, has it been 2 years since that was announced?
Yeah, it'll be 2 years this E3.
Right. So 2 years, they still have yet to show any real stuff from there. And just recently, I forget the guy's name who's in charge of the Final Fantasy VII Remake, but he said, we're still working on it, and don't expect anything soon. They're a long way off. And the same thing with Kingdom Hearts 3. And I know a lot of, like, some people will say, well, wait, you can't make this. You're already making that, and I want that more. But there's a
Yeah.
lot. Square is a big company, and I'm sure that they have many divisions. And having people working on this Marvel game, I don't think that's going to take anything away from the other projects that Square is working on. And some people might say, well, you could send those people over to work on these, but too many cooks in the kitchen spoils the pot. So I think it's fine that they're working on this extra stuff, and that's more games for us. I do hope that it's tied into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I doubt that it is, mostly because I'm sure that the game will have voice acting, and there's no way that they're going to be able to pay for the actors to voice act their lines. At least I don't think so, unless it was secretly in the contracts that, like, Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Hemsworth and those guys all have with Marvel already, that they have to do voice acting. That's never really been something that's been shown. So my guess is it's probably not going to follow that, because they don't want to pay for the voice acting.
I will say this: analysing the trailer, not that watching it 10 times over and over makes you analyse anything, but it does make me wonder if it's going to happen after what they have planned for the Avengers, the last Avengers film. Because obviously in the trailer you see, if you haven't, and you're listening to the podcast and you haven't seen the trailer, I think we'll find a way of linking it in the show notes. You've got to sit and watch it. It's like as Ranjam said, it's a very quick CGI kind of trailer, but it's all happening. It looks like the Avengers have been destroyed. Now, this is not spoiling anything. This is in the comic books. If you read the comics, Thanos is the biggest, baddest boss there could be in the Avengers universe, and he does destroy Avengers. So whether it's going to happen after that, and we'll see like a female Avengers cast, because it can happen, it does happen. If they're starting with a cutscene like this, with Iron Man's arm there and Captain America's shield, on the ground, and you've got Thor's hammer with Thor nowhere to be seen, that kind of makes you think, well, they've then opened themselves to do all sorts, which I really am hyped. I think that's great. I think what you've got in the Marvel Cinematic Universe with the films and stuff, keep that separate. I think that's great, and tie it into after the Avengers. If that's what they're going to do in the films, I don't know. I haven't got the Avengers script here for the Infinity War. If I did, I would be a very rich man.
Yeah.
But do it after and do something different. But it's been a long time, and we owed a really good Avengers game. And seeing Square Square do it, I've got high hopes.
Snow Goes Ham in chat says, the Avengers have been destroyed. Save them. You play as Chuck, a rough downtown teen on the brink of desperation for heroes. All right, that's the plot right there. We're definitely gonna want to play this game. You want to? Speaking of Deus Ex, you want to talk about the next story?
Yeah, well, it kind of leads on. There's apparently the link doesn't work well. Okay, see, I really failed this. You got it. Okay, so Square, Eidos Interactive are the guys behind Deus Ex, and they basically said don't expect anything anytime soon. They haven't confirmed or denied that it's been cancelled, but it's completely off the cards at the minute, which is no surprise to what we announced just then. Also, Deus Ex Human Divided Human.
Mankind Divided, Human Revolution.
Yeah, one of those. That was like an augmentation of both games. Like, see what I did there? It does look like that the second game didn't sell as well as the first in the reboot of the Deus Ex series. Um, the first game, the original game, was a massive hit, huge hit, and then the reboot, 2011 reboot was also a very good seller. The second game in the series wasn't so good, even though it got very good mixed reviews. We had the big scandal from Square Enix and Eidos Interactive with their pre-order tier system, which soon got shut down.
Yes.
So it's no surprise to me that Deus Ex is pretty much been put on the back burner. I'm kind of gutted because you'll see why later in the podcast. But I'm kind of gutted because I enjoyed the first game, haven't played the second game, and there was supposed to be a third game. They were supposed to be tying everything up, and it's like, oh.
So did the
Okay.
second game end on a note that made it seem
I
like
don't know. Apparently, from what I've been told, there's plot holes in the second game that are being left for the third game.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Yeah,
kind of like,
that's kind of. It reminds me of when I was a kid. I was probably in high school. There was a TV show called Sliders, which basically was. Oh gosh, how do I describe it? It was this kid invented a thing that would open up a dimension to another parallel universe. So basically, a different Earth, slightly
yeah,
different. So there was always something slightly different, like instead of a patriarchal society, they would have a matriarchal society, or instead of having green mean go, red means go, that kind of thing. And so they would go to these different universes, and I remember watching like the season finale of one of the seasons. I don't remember which one. And right before they jump through this portal, and guys, this is from the 90s. If you haven't watched it yet, I'm really not too worried about spoilers. Um, but right before this, they jump through this portal to go to the next Earth. Like the main character gets shot, and then the show got canceled. So, like,
ooh,
everybody's like, did he make it through? Nobody knows, that kind of thing. It was very weird, and I guess the show eventually got picked up by somebody else, and we ended up finding out later on. But like, this wasn't like during the age of the internet, so it's not like we could go and be like, hey everybody, guess what, Sliders is back on. If you just didn't happen to turn on the TV at the right time, you didn't know about it. So I get where you're coming from, where you play this series and they leave something up, like
yeah,
something open at the end. It's like at the end of the first Star Wars when you see Darth Vader in his ship afterwards, and you're like, oh, sequel, they're going to have a sequel, and then Empire Strikes Back never happens. You'd be like, oh, that's so deflating. But
yeah.
Deus Ex has been around for a really long time, so I don't see that going away. I'm sure that it'll come back eventually.
Yeah, I think with the fact, like you say, they're they're doing the Marvel kind of thing. It's kind of they're pushing two of their big side companies onto this, as we said, Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Interactive. So why not shelve Deus Ex for a while and crack on with something else? I don't blame them really, but if I play through the second game and um, those plot holes are bad, I tell you, I'm coming for someone.
I have the first one. Well, not the first one, because the first Deus Ex is actually a really old series. It's been around for a while, but I have the first of the new ones, and I need to play it. I just never get around to it. There's so many games that I have that I've never gotten to play because I've been distracted by things. But that's beside the point. Speaking of distractions, I've got a distraction for you. Microsoft is adding a game mode to Windows 10 that is supposed to optimize the system for playing video games. So apparently it's going to prioritize CPU and GPU resources for your game, taking everything else and shoving it on the back burner, which that seems pretty cool. They're just trying to improve everybody's frame rate by doing so. I think that's really a great idea. I think that Microsoft having a game mode is really good. But what the thing that I worry about is it has this stuff called like the game bar, which I guess if you hit Windows G on my brain stopped working. On Windows, if you hit the Windows key and G, it brings up this game bar that is like, I guess it's related to Xbox One stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't have an Xbox One. I don't have an Xbox account that I still use. I had an Xbox 360 forever ago. I don't want that to take things over unless I am in charge of it. And game mode sounds great, but I'm a streamer. And if it takes away the priority from OBS, which is the program that I use to stream, that could really wreck things for me. It could make it so that all of my video is very stuttery. That being said, I think that Microsoft is probably going to be pretty smart about this because they own a streaming service. They have Beam. So I think that it looks like they're trying to leverage this to help streamers. I just wonder if it's going to hurt people who are only streaming to Twitch or YouTube instead of Microsoft. So what do you think about this?
No, I got third party. I know I don't like a lot of third party apps, but I have a lot of third party. I have 30 parts.
Huh?
Third party apps that can do a lot of what they're asking me to do. I control a lot of the CPU and the GPU myself. I'm like you. I'm a little bit worried that Microsoft are they're pushing towards that kind of control thing where it breaks the stream and things like that. Yeah, I don't like that. It would be a test and see how it gets on. Again, but what I would like if they were making a true game mode. If you've got Windows 10, and everyone who has Windows 10 will know what I'm on about. I prefer Windows 7 over 10, and there's a reason for it. Windows 10 comes with a lot of bloat, a lot of rubbish that you don't need on a day-to-day basis. A lot of Xbox stuff that I don't have an Xbox myself, all that kind of stuff that I don't use. Let me remove that. Let me make my operating system smoother and faster by removing the bloat that I don't use. Still give me this game mode if it's going to be beneficial. But let me remove some of the rubbish that comes with Windows 10. I love Windows 10 as an operating system, and anyone who knows me over the last sort of 6 months or so, I've had nothing but trouble with the computer. But Windows 10 wasn't the issue. It's how I installed Windows 10. Now that I've got Windows 10 working perfectly, it's an amazing operating system. But just let me remove some of the stuff that I don't use. That would be game mode in my eyes. You're slimlining the operating system for something that you use it for. If you use all that stuff, keep it on there. You use Windows 10 for office-based systems and things like that, then you have what you need on there. That would be, for me, a very true way of allowing Windows 10 to be in game mode. And the reason why I compared it to Windows 7 is Windows 7 doesn't have any of that. It's a very bare-bones operating system. It's very straightforward. It does what it says on the tin. Yes, okay, in this day and age, it's not going to be supported much longer by Microsoft. You have time running out on Windows 7. But compared to kind of what bloat and stuff like that comes with it, I think in that sense Windows 7 is better. This, as long as it doesn't get in the way of what I do on my computer, i.e. streaming, or I have to have it enabled for a game, I can see that it says use game mode for this game. So hopefully that's kind of like, I can decide if I want this on or off. There's no way it can be just locked on to certain games. I do wonder though, Runjump, if Windows 10 games on the Windows Store, if you buy them from there, would they be locked with this on? Even though it says you can turn it on and off, I wonder if Microsoft would tie that all into their system.
I don't think that they would require it to be on, but one thing that I do worry about, because one thing that we got to remember is that you can buy Xbox One games on the Windows 10 store for your PC. And what if developers start optimizing their game with the idea that the end user is going to be having game mode on? So if that's optimized with the idea that everybody is expected to have game mode on, and then you turn it off and you get a really poor experience, that's not something that I like.
Right.
People in chat are saying that you can easily remove the game bar and things like that, and that's fine. And I have no problem with them adding new features to try and help gamers get the most out of their systems. I worry that developers are going to develop with it in mind. But that really doesn't affect me too much because I don't buy anything off of the Windows store. I buy everything for my computer through Steam, or if it's an MMO or something like that, I get it directly from the company who makes it, like ArenaNet or Square, that kind of thing. So I don't know. I like that they're adding in more options, but I worry that they'll make mistakes. Only time will tell.
That's it. That's it.
All right, let's. I mentioned Square. Why don't we talk about the next story?
Well, it's been a bit of a Square down tonight.
I guess
There's a
so.
lot of stuff about Square. So let's give you some Final Fantasy 12 news, guys. Anybody who knows, Run Jump is also a fan of the Final Fantasy series. If anyone doesn't know what the Final Fantasy series is, I would worry. But secondly, it's a massive RPG series brought to you by Square, originally by Squaresoft and now Square Enix. They're remastering the 12th iteration of the game. There is no story that follows each one. They are standalone stories. 12 was the last Final Fantasy to be released on the PS2, or was it PS3?
I
Oh,
don't know.
someone in chat, if they can just tell me if it was the PS2 or PS3. There, I think it might have been PS2 because I think it came right at the end of the PS2's life.
Well, PS3 had PS3 and Xbox 360 had Final Fantasy 13. So
Yeah, I think it was the PS2, and I think it came right at the end of the PS2's life. It wasn't very well received because of I think people were already um, gearing up for.
it says right on the screen. It says Final Fantasy 12: The Zodiac Age receives PS4 release date and will bring the PS2. There's a typo in the article. It says RGP, role game playing, into the current console gen with an HD remaster in 2017.
I'm glad we're not the only ones that get things wrong. So anyway, 12 is being released July of this year, and it's coming back. It's called the Zodiac Age, so I think it's got all the international content, which usually happens with their remasters. They give you, because for some weird reason, a lot of the older Final Fantasies, like from 10, especially 10, they released with 10, and then they had 10-2, and both copies had a normal version, then a Japanese international version. The Japanese international version had a lot harder content towards the end of the game. With these remastered, so there's people in like North America who, when it 10 and 10-2 was remastered, had never gone and fought against the hardest bosses, which was like Penance and all this, unless they got the Japanese international versions. So when they did the remasters, they slapped all of this content on these discs, and that's what they're apparently doing with 12 as well. They're giving all the international content. I'm going to give it a look. Combat system is one of my least favorites, as we've discussed
Why?
2 or 3 times.
How come?
It's gone away from the turn-based system.
Oh, so okay, because I just looked at a little tiny clip of the combat, and I was about to ask, is it turn-based or is it action?
No, it's the start of the where 13 goes with its combat system. So it's kind of turn-based cross action-based. And it's not as action based as 15, but it's not turn based like 10 or 9
or all the other ones before it.
Yeah, so it's kind of right in the middle. And as Snow Goes to Ham says in chat, 12 has a weird combat system. Some love it or some hate it. I've never played 12. It's one that I've missed. So I will be picking this up because I've never played it. Like 15, will it stick with me? I don't know.
You ended up returning 15, right?
Second?
You ended up trading in 15, right?
I did, because I say to everyone that last year when I picked up 15, I thought it was the most gorgeous game that I'd seen. I felt like I was in a boy band. There was a lot of good things about 15, but when you really hit the combat system, I missed the turn-based system that Final Fantasy was known for, and that's what I wanted.
Yeah, you and I were talking about it one day, and you made a really good point about, when you're playing a turn-based thing, and then during the enemy's turn, like one of the characters in your party dies or gets stunned or something, that completely changes your approach to what you're going to do in this fight. There have been times when I've played in Final Fantasy 15, and we'll say Prompto gets killed or incapacitated in some way, and I didn't notice because I'm too busy doing my own thing. And if that's going to be the way that it plays, then why even have a group?
Yeah, that's it. With turn-based, you feel like your party's doing something. You feel like everyone has a place in that party, and you will level up those party members, and you work to make your party stronger. Another thing that gets me in 15 is the magic system. Final Fantasy is known for great magic systems and great summons. I won't spoil any of that content of the summons because that's not fair to people who play 15.
And there's a lot of people who like 15, so...
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to be in very much a minority of people who traded in 15, but I will say this, right? I went and traded 15 in to get a hold of 10.2 for the PlayStation 4. I went to 4 game shops, right, in my local city, and no one has had a copy of 10.2 for the last 5 or 6 months. Final Fantasy 15, they've seen traded in backwards and forwards. I'm like, wow, that's kind of amazing. And it really does. To me, that kind of speaks volumes of the game comparisons of are fans of the series that Final Fantasy still want a turn-based system, or are people enjoying it? I mean, Square even say at the beginning of the 15, this one's for the fans and for new players. I think it's more for the new players than the fans, personally, because there's one of the points exactly where you have this your turn-based system and losing party members, all that, like we've just discussed. So, but the magic system in 15 is also a little bit it's a bit weak compared to previous games. So there you go. That's my rant on 15. Discussion on 15.
I want to talk a little bit more about Final Fantasy.
Yeah, carry on.
So you traded it in, and you ended up picking up Fire Emblem, and did you also end up picking up Bravely Default? Because I know that you were looking at that.
Yeah, I've ordered Bravely Default, and I'm waiting for it to turn up.
All right, so I don't want to talk anymore about it then, because I just wanted to know how you felt about it when.
Fire Emblem for me is a strange one, and I'm kind of getting my head around it. I love JRPGs, but this is like JRPG to a little bit different level to what I'm used to.
The best thing you can do is turn off the voice acting because it's awful.
It's awful.
You turn the speed of the encounters up, and it's a lot. And I don't care for the story. A lot of people say that the Fire Emblem story is amazing. For me, I'm just like, well, I haven't finished it yet. I don't know if it's great or not. I play it for the fights, and the fights are really fun. And I think when you get further in, you'll enjoy it a little bit more.
Yeah, I always give myself, I must play a game for a minimum of about 20 hours before I make my decision on if I like the game or not. By 20 hours in, especially into a JRPG, you're going to know most of the mechanics. You're not going to be at your what you call end game or anything like that. You're pretty disappointed if there's a JRPG that only had 20 hours in, but you have most of your stuff that you kind of know what you're doing. So I'm loving my 2DS. I'm just looking for those right games, and I think Bravely Default and Fire Emblem that I've got will be the 2 games that I'm looking for. But yeah, Final Fantasy, unfortunately, 15 it kind of lived up to what hype was out there for it, but at the same time, once you broke it down and you looked at the actual game, it's nothing but just an action game. That's all it is. To me, it's just an action game, and I don't want that for my Final Fantasies.
Fair enough. And just real quick, since we mentioned Fire Emblem, today Fire Emblem comes out, or Fire Emblem Heroes comes out for iOS and Android. It's already out in some markets, and as the Earth turns, eventually more and more markets will have it. So check it out. It's a free game. Don't put any money into it until you. You've already got it, you big jerk. I don't have it here yet.
I've got it. And if you look in the show notes, I was going to talk about it right at the end.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
because there is something. I will save it to the end. Slight Zap rage.
all right. So let's move on to the next story, and that is that there is a new GameStop program that is leading employees to lie to customers. So if you've ever gone to GameStop, they have very aggressive upselling procedures. And I don't know, you don't have GameStop over there.
No, but we have an equivalent called Game.
Right. And I don't know if they're as bad, but they have this new program called Circle of Life. And basically what it does, it gives each GameStop store different percentage quotas for pre-orders, reward card subscriptions, used game sales, and game trade-ins. So these are the 4 things that you have to try and upsell to the customer. Okay? And each one of these quotas is based on the store's total transactions, pre-orders and reward card subscription. I'm just reading right off the article right now. Pre-orders and reward card subscriptions are based on the number of transactions, while the used game sales and trade-ins are based on the total dollar value of the transactions. If the store's quota for used game sales is 30% and the store sells $1,000 worth of merchandise, GameStop expects at least 300 of that merchandise to be pre-owned. And if you go in and you buy whatever it is, maybe it's a new system, maybe it's a new game. If you buy a new one, it automatically will dock that store on all 4 of those percentage point things. So what happens is when, because employees are likely to get fired if they don't meet certain quotas, you walk into a GameStop and you say, I want a brand new copy of Final Fantasy 15. If you don't pre-order another game, if you don't subscribe for a rewards card, if you don't also buy a used game, or if you don't also trade in some game to help you pay for it, it knocks all 4 of those percentages down, and it makes the employees look bad. So basically, the more new games that the employee sells, the more used games they have to sell to make up for it. And so what employees are doing in order to keep their jobs is they're telling people, we don't have the new systems in stock, or we don't have the new version of it in stock. All we have is the used version. If you buy this used version, GameStop keeps 100% of the money. If you buy the new version, they have to give some of that money to the publisher. So GameStop is trying to force their employees into tricking people into buying used stuff because that's more profitable for GameStop. So what do you think, Zap? Whoa, Zap is very, very angry right now. Zap, I know that we said that we weren't going to, but what do you think, man?
Wow. Jeez. What the?
Easy.
That's disgusting. That is disgusting. As someone who works in a shop in a retail sector, mine's me, not games. I'd walk if my boss said we've got to do this. That's disgusting and sleazy and just no. Not only are you lying to the consumer, not only are you lying to your staff, that's unethical. That's everything wrong with this.
Well, the staff is not being lied to. The staff is just trying to save their jobs because if they don't meet certain quotas, they're likely to get terminated.
Oh, there's just but that's what I mean. Do the staff know that they would lose their job if that's with that hanging over your head, especially in this current climate? That's just disgusting. Do you know? Game is pretty much the same. You walk in there, you can't walk out. It's like walking into a bleeding bank or buying a new car. You got to have this, and this, and then you got to have this, and this, and these shops are exactly the same. Game is in the UK is the same. You walk in, and you go up to the shop counter. Right, I've just picked up. I'll show you one. I've just picked up Fire Emblem Fates, and I'll put it on the counter, and I'll put my money down, and I'll say, "Oh, is there anything else for you, sir?" No, just that. Say, "Oh, would you like a reward card?" No, I've got one of those because you're like the only game shop that there is in the vicinity anywhere. So hand me a reward card. Would you like to pre-order a new game? No, there's nothing really out there at the minute, and they're already doing it, and it's kind of like ram it down your throat, and it drives me insane. It drives me mad. I know they've got to sell stuff. I know they've got to make certain targets, but that article gives everything wrong that's wrong in the retail sector. That one there, and that drives me insane. As a person who works in the same kind of sector, that is wrong. And wow, it's just making my blood boil thinking about it. I wish that companies could make money without just doing stuff like this, because there's no need. Because gaming industry is huge. We both know this. We play games, we stream. We're in and out of this sector.
Yeah, the
It's
gaming
huge.
industry makes more than the film industry.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere. And you don't need to push an incentive like this to your store clerks, your guys who are selling stuff like this to sell stuff that you don't need to. If you go into a GameStop store, you're going in there to, one, either have a look, two, pre-order a game, or three, buy something. When you're having a look because you want to pre-order something might catch your eye. You don't need to ram this down the throat, because when you walk up to that counter, and trust me, I know this because you might have been on the receiving end of this as well. When they start telling you, "Oh, we'd like a reward card. I'll pre-order this game. What about some new game?" All you want to do is grab your stuff and run. You just think, well, I don't want 21 questions. Just sell me the stuff and let me go.
Yeah. Oh my God. Have you ever tried calling these people?
Yeah.
Thanks for calling GameStop, where you can
pre
pre-order this for that, and then you can do 3 other things. And they actually have like this script that the employees have to go through before they will actually talk to you. And I was like, I just wanted to know if you guys were open today.
Yeah, and it's like, but I read a little bit further in the article, and this is how disgusting it is and wrong. So, Watch Dogs 2 is currently $29.99 new. This is dollars, so the UK don't get too excited if you listen to it. And $54.99 pre-owned.
Wait, what?
They are, yeah. Read further down the article. That's example of what they're doing with one game.
Hold on, let me find this. Where are we looking here?
So we also tell customers we don't have copies of new games in stock when they are for sale. So they basically, what they're doing is, you go into a store, you hear that Watch Dogs 2 is half price. It's $30. Well, I'm going to go GameStop. I am playing Watch Dogs. I'm going to go grab it. And they will tell you, because of this incentive, because the new game, as you said, the percentage has to go to the publisher, not the pre-owned stuff, right? They will tell you they haven't got any sale copies of Watch Dogs 2, right? But they have a pre-owned one at $55. Right?
Wow. That's even worse. That's even worse than I thought.
Yeah, because it's pre-owned, they don't have to put the sales sticker on. Because it's pre-owned, because it's been put back, that takes away anything from the publisher, as you said. So
right, and that's my biggest problem.
That's
my biggest problem with it, is that by doing the used game system, or the used game stuff, they are effectively depriving money from a publisher. Now, I know I have traded in games. Zap traded in a game recently. There's a reason why they're successful at doing this, because people buy a game and then they decide that they don't want it anymore, or they want to get something else and they want to save some money, so they trade it in. But and by the way, Abby's got a really good point. GameStop is not the only store that tries to sell additional items at the counter. It's not that unusual. I used to work in a bookstore, and if you did not try and upsell, like we had like candy at the counter and things like that, or bookmarks, you would get in trouble. And what they would do is they would hire people called secret shoppers, which
Yeah.
would go around and they would shop at a store. And then they would say, well, the employee that helped me did this, this, and this, but they didn't do these 4 things. And if you got rated below a certain thing on your secret shopper, you would be dismissed. So you had to basically pester customers as they came into the store because you were afraid that you would get fired if you didn't. And I don't know about you, and I think I've forgotten what my point was, but I don't know about you, but when I go shopping, these right here are my best friend. I walk around, even if I'm not listening to something, and I have headphones in my ears because I do not want the employees to bother me. I just want to buy what I want to buy, and I want to be left alone. And when I was an employee, I always felt guilty for bothering the customer because I, as a customer, don't want to be bothered. I want to go in, find what I'm going to buy. If I need help, I will ask for it. Otherwise, leave me alone. And it just drove me crazy. I forgot what my original point was, but Abby made a really good point. It's everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite lucky working in a local butcher shop. We don't do this sort of thing.
Would you like some bacon with your ham?
Yeah, basically, but if they'll come in and they'll say, I'll have a pound of sausages, and we'll say, was there anything else for you today? And that's kind of the common talk. That's kind of how but you don't overgo, well, have some sausage, have some, eggs and bacon, eggs and sausages. We don't do that kind of thing. It's kind of like, is there anything else for you today? And if they say, no, that's it, right, okay, that's, £2.89 or whatever. And on they go, and that's how I've always been brought up to talk to people. And that's how I like to talk to people, because I would hate for a customer to come in and go, I'd like some steak, please, some fillet steak. And fillet steak is not cheap. And they'll I'll have this much. And they'll go, well, what you want with your fillet steak is you want nice blue cheese sauce, you want nice peppercorn sauce. You'll have one of these, or what else you need, and that would drive me insane. So this whole setup that GameStop have got going, I hope whoever thought of this gets fired. Seriously, that's disgusting. And they want to look good, long, hard look in the mirror and think, well, how the hell can I sleep at night that they thought this disgusting practice up?
And honestly, I think what's happening here is the death of brick and mortar, because brick and mortar stores, they're the reason, the way that they treat customers is the reason that customers don't want to go shopping anymore. Yeah. So it's just so much easier just to go to Amazon and buy stuff that way rather than go in and be hassled and pestered. When I go into a store and I look at clothing or something that I might want to buy, it is beneficial for me to actually look at it and try it on before I buy it. But I don't shop for clothes in a store. I shop online because I don't want to be bothered. It's a pain. And they're driving their customers away, and that's why, I think that they're speeding up the demise of brick and mortar, but brick and mortar is going away. But my goodness, We've been talking about this story for a while. So
I need to come off this before my kidneys shrivel.
Right. Speaking of things that are dying,
I don't know how that links to the next one, but Red Dead Redemption 2. There you go. Apparently things are dying. It's coming this year. Now, I know you American people over there love the Super Bowl. Do you watch the Super Bowl?
I watch the Super Bowl and I fast forward through the football so I can watch the movie trailers because I do not care a bit about sports.
Well, get ready because they reckon Red Dead Redemption 2 trailer will be at the Super Bowl.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go. We get the Super Bowl here. I will be watching the Super Bowl. The adverts usually hit about 1:30 in the morning. But I'm on holiday on Monday. I can't wait. I love the Super Bowl. I love how Americans put the show on. It makes kind of some of our Cup finals look a little bit stupid. Even though the FA Cup, which is our big football league, or soccer, is in it's our big soccer end of the tournament and stuff like that. This is cool. So Red Dead Redemption. Seriously, Rockstar changed the damn name. Wild Wild West game by Rockstar. They reckon the new trailer is coming on the 5th of February, which is Super Bowl Sunday.
That's this weekend?
That's this weekend. They reckon that will come with a release date. Now, I sent you a picture on the Discord, your Discord, and found pre-order cards in one of my local stores.
Oh, cool. Did you get one?
Yeah. But they can't. This is the greatest thing. I took it up to the till, so I got this like pre-order card in my hand. And I walked up to the till, went to put my £5 down, and they couldn't take my pre-order because it had no release date. I'm like, why did you put them out for?
No, yeah, they probably got the stuff in yeah, it'll be out on Monday that you can buy them.
Like, why? They were like, because they had to go. I was like, that's bonkers. For your UK people, that's Tesco's. It was the store that I went to. Kodiak in chat will now perk up because he'll know what Tesco's is. So that's and I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking to see what they're doing. They talk of Red Dead Redemption 2 happening before the first game.
Okay. Well, now it makes really no sense for it to have a 2 at the end of it.
Yeah, with Rockstar just getting it wrong altogether on it. So placeholder dates are in for October, but I think we'll see a November release. Personally, I think it'll be put down for end of September, beginning of October. They've delayed a month. Rockstar are known for delaying their games, so I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to Red Dead Redemption. I know you said before that some of the Rockstar games would never really get the ticket with you.
They don't, but that doesn't mean that they're not good games. I've heard so many wonderful things about the story, especially for Red Dead Redemption, that it makes me want to play it, even though I don't like the controls. So that's just me. I think that if there's so many people that look upon this series fondly that it would be a mistake to just count it out.
It's going to be one of them. It's going to be a good one. Unfortunately, there is no PC date release. It's Xbox and PS4. I expect the PC will be about 6 years later if GTA 5 will go by. But yeah, so Super Bowl. That's a rumor. That's not confirmed. I heard somewhere that there was an advert at the Super Bowl on the Super Bowl subject about 2 or 3 years ago that just came up right at the end of this advert, and it was like a complete waste of time. And it just said, "We just wasted $1 million on this advert. What have you done with your life with your money?" And it's like, wow, okay, seriously, like, what?
I don't know. Well, but speaking of Super Bowl ads, Nintendo is buying a Super Bowl ad for the first time.
Are they?
Yeah, they're going all in. I've already seen the. They have like an extended cut that's out there, and then they have a 30-second spot that they're going to put in the Super Bowl. So Nintendo is getting one for the Switch, which I think that their marketing, maybe they fired the people who marketed the Wii U. I don't know, but it's looking good for the Switch. They actually, speaking of Nintendo, Kimishima, who's the president of Nintendo, he said that they actually they flipped the switch and cranked up some more production because pre-orders are so good. And he says that they're looking at Wii size sales.
Really?
Which that's crazy.
I've got to ask you something, Run Jump.
Yeah.
2 things. How excited are you? Seriously?
For the Switch?
How excited are you? Yeah.
I'm counting the days, man. Like, this Zelda game is going to be the only thing I play for the rest of my life, probably.
Oh, dear, yeah, I can imagine.
Oh, God, Snow Goes Ham. I did not do that on purpose. That's stupid pun. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What was your second thing?
I could now see the phone call between, the president of Nintendo and going to the factory and going, "We need more Switches." How many? 3. Simple as that. But no, I'm glad you're excited. I'm not picking up on launch. Money doesn't allow me to pick up on launch. But secondly, there's nothing there. I'm gonna when you stream Zelda, I'll watch you play Zelda. Simple as that. That's be good enough for me. I'm more interested in seeing what they do with the FIFA at the end of the year and stuff like that. I want to see where the Switch goes towards Christmas.
What was your second question, though?
Oh no, it was actually a joke. But I kind of I made it look like a question and got it wrong. That's just how the podcast is going.
That's it for the main stories or for the headlines, I guess. Now we're going to do the lightning round. We're going to try and spend a little less time talking about each thing, and we're going to start by talking about a game which I am very excited for. I don't even. Oh, good! It's coming out to Steam and PlayStation 4, so now I'm even more excited. Did you? You might be too young for this. Did you play Double Dragon?
I just looked at the date when it was released. Would you like to know how old I was when Double Dragon released?
Double Dragon 1? Yeah.
I was one. I was 1 year old.
All right, listen, you
So,
showed
no,
me a
I
finger.
never
I'm going to
played
show
Double
you a
Dragon.
finger. It'll be a different
go.
finger, but we, if you can show me this finger, I'm going to show you a different finger. I won't say which one.
Pardon?
Yes, I know I'm really old. So you've never played Double Dragon?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
All right. Well, Double Dragon 4 is coming out. They said I don't see what day it's coming out.
Tuesday the 31st.
Oh, it's
January.
out. It's out already. So this might be something that I buy. It's for PS4 and Steam, and the game is basically it's a 2-player game, a 1 or 2 player game, and it's an old school side-scrolling beat 'em up style game that is really, really. The original is one of my favorite games of all time, and they kind of preserved the art style. They could have gone nuts and went full on 3D stuff, but they didn't. It is widescreen, but this is totally in the art style of the original, and it's Double Dragon 4, which is something I'm very excited about. Let me jump forward a little bit in the video so that we can see what it looks like. Widescreen and 8-bit looking. It's going to be a blast. I guarantee it's going to have it's got to have online play, but you don't want to play this online. You want to play this couch co-op, you and a friend going through beating up dudes because they stole your girlfriend or whatever. So it's a really great Double Dragon 2 is one of my favorite of this genre, and this is the game that defined the beat 'em up genre. So definitely check this out. What do you think? Are you looking at the video right now?
It reminds me of Streets of Rage.
Yes, this came out before Streets of Rage.
I played Streets of Rage. I had Streets of Rage. Streets of Rage was the first one that I played on the Sega Mega Drive or Genesis, or I can't remember which one it came out now. Sega. But anyway, that one. So it reminds me of that. It looks really cool. And it's on sale. It's like £5 in the UK.
Really?
So, yeah, it's on sale. I'll put the link in chat. It's so cheap. It's ridiculous.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, I'm gonna get it on PS4. Well,
I understand why. Yeah.
You know what? I don't think I am. I can't decide where I'm gonna get it. This is gonna be the
I thought
thing.
it was on sale, but it's not. It is just cheap. So it's probably about $6 for you.
I can't decide where to get it. I have $7 of Steam cash just sitting there.
Oh, there you go. Oh.
You know what I mean?
The system requirements, I just want to warn everyone, they're quite heavy. Windows 7 up to 10. Intel Core Duo 2.4 gigahertz, 2 gig of RAM. Shader Model 3.0 support with 512 meg of integrated memory.
That's it.
DirectX version 9. Yeah, that's it. That's all you need to know. Wow, I think my potato can run it just about. So there you go. It looks cool, man. It looks cool.
All right. Speaking of old games being made anew, man, I am killing it with the segues today.
Wow. I tell you what, you're in the wrong job. So, the Elder Scrolls Morrowind. Oh my god. This is like the second time in one podcast I've nearly exploded from excitement. Morrowind was the first Elder Scrolls game I played. And it was, well, back then it was like the most significant thing that I'd ever played in my life. And they're bringing Morrowind to Elder Scrolls Online. This alone, seeing this will make me end my subscription to Final Fantasy 14 and put it for Elder Scrolls just so I can play Morrowind. I want to see what they do. The trailer is really cool. Like really, 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 really cool.
Yeah, well, there's a new class.
Yes.
The Warden.
Yeah, it's looking really cool, and I want to know how much of Morrowind is there. So this is making me kind of think, well, I might, especially now with the one Tamriel edition, where everywhere is the same kind of level. They scale the levels and stuff. They would be worth playing. And the ESO I've been hearing from the community, inside the community, it is just getting better and better. They're adding good content. Um, you know, it's that MMO thing we've discussed a couple of times already over the last few weeks about the MMO scene and kind of how much time we had to dedicate to an MMO. And if you can just drop in and drop out of an MMO where you're not paying to play, hence why I've cancelled that subscription to Final Fantasy 14. I love 14, but I'm not playing it enough, and because I'm paying each month, I kind of feel like I'm losing money. I'm not playing enough. So a drop in, drop out MMO, yeah, happy days, and I really look forward to seeing Morrowind again. And yeah, this looks cool. The trailer got me so hyped.
Yeah, the trailer is fantastic. I watched the actual. They streamed like an interview on Twitch talking about the expansion, and they said some really interesting things. Usually, when you buy an expansion to a game, especially a previous game, and they don't really like to they don't like to say the word expansion, and they made a really good point as to why. That usually indicates okay, well, this is to up the level cap. You got to be max level, all that stuff, but you don't. If you wanna start in Morrowind, and this is the one Tamriel thing that you were talking about, if you want to start in Morrowind and play a brand new character, having never played the game before. First off, when you buy the game, you get the original game along with it, which is a very good way to entice players who missed out on it the first time around. So if you buy the game and then you start playing, you can start right in Morrowind, where all of the existing player base is obviously going to be, because it's new content. They're all going to be in that new content, and they're going to be playing there, and you're not going to feel left behind. That is one thing about MMOs that I don't like, is when I'm playing it and like maybe people have been playing this game for a while, and I haven't. I feel like, oh, I'm never going to catch up. But because the one Tamriel removed all of the levels from the game, well, they didn't remove levels, but they made it so that the area that you're in is whatever level you are, basically. So you can play wherever you want. That means that I can play with people who have been playing all along, and I don't get left out. And I think that's a really fantastic way to play. I immediately, after watching the trailer, I opened a game up and patched it again so that I could start
Yeah,
playing
yeah,
again to check it out.
I did the same.
This
I
comes
did
out
the same.
in July or June,
July.
June
Yeah, yeah.
6th, I think, actually.
I think that Snowgo's hand put someone in chat. I kind of don't like that. I like the feeling of, for example, heading toward working my way up to this massive city. Fantastic. Sense of accomplishment. I get that. Snowgo's hand. I do understand that, but at the same time, I like the ability to be able to just explore a game. It's an MMO. I'm supposed to be able to play with players. I'm supposed to be able to see other players. Don't restrict me because of my level. Guild Wars 2 does it fantastically as well. It'll scale your level back when you go into a lower level zone.
But this is taking it one step further. This.
Yeah. I was thinking.
Oh,
I
okay,
was then
go ahead.
obviously going on to that. Even though the ESO do it differently, where they go, everything is to your level. I like Guild Wars 2 system as well, where they scale your level. So if I've been playing Guild Wars 2 for 4 years, and you jump into Guild Wars 2 and go, oh, I want to, can you come level up with me? I can join you, and it won't affect things. And I like that thing about those kind of MMOs that do that. And you kind of get spoiled by that kind of system. ESO patched it, played it, just walked around the Elder Scrolls world, and it was like I could just get around and get on with it, and that felt really good. And if you haven't played ESO, go try it. It's a solid game.
And
It
it's
really
free.
is.
Wait, is it free?
No, it's buy to play.
Yeah, it's
It
buy to
was,
play. You do have to buy it. But if you,
and most of the time it's on sale.
I bet that if you pre-order the Morrowind expansion, you because you probably would get an account for the base game. I mean, I know that if you buy Morrowind, you get the base game. But I bet if you pre-order Morrowind, you would be able to start playing the base game right now. What's up? You're making a face. For those of you that are wondering, Zap has a face on his face, and he looks very upset.
No, total opposite. I just scrolled down and just saw the Morrowind Collector's Edition.
Oh, the giant statue?
Oh my god.
Okay, here, let me bring that up so chat can see it, because it's pretty crazy.
Oh, that looks incredible.
Where is it?
I tried to think how much that is.
All right, here we go. Let me bring this up on the screen. So it's got this huge statue of some weird dwarven colossus, and it comes with an art book, which
that looks incredible.
Which seems pretty rad. I guess they said that the art book that you got with the original one, if you got the collector's edition, was a big hit. I don't know how much is this.
I don't know. I'll do some digging. I'll do some digging when it's your next story. I would have that in a heartbeat because I love that kind of. I probably geek out with that kind of stuff. That's so amazing, and that statue looks incredible as well.
I agree. The statue does look incredible, but I don't want more plastic crap in my house.
What happens if it's metal and it's gold? It's
well,
worth like $1,000.
Then I better reinforce my desk because that thing's huge.
Oh dear. Oh, so it's your story next. While you're doing that, I'm going to try and find a price.
All right. So Polygon has an article written by. I'm scrolling and scrolling for days and days and days and still scrolling. All right, there we go. It is written by Matt Leone, and this is a very, very long article. It's such a long article that the article. I'm scrolling back to the top now. The article even has like a spot in the or a button in the article where you can save your spot to read it, and it's called Final Fantasy VII: An Oral History. My goodness, I could have just clicked right on the top to see who wrote it. But basically, he went through and he interviewed just about everybody who worked on Final Fantasy VII. It looks like 30 people, basically. And he's got a very well-written, long article all about how Final Fantasy VII came about, the weird relationship between Nintendo and Square, and why Square ditched them after they ditched Sony and ended up going on a cartridge-based system instead of a disc-based system. So if you are a fan at all of Final Fantasy VII, I definitely think that you should I said definitely too many times. You should definitely, I did it again. Check out this article. I'm just going to stop talking. It's your turn. You say things.
This looks really interesting, and I'm going to have a read because it's Final Fantasy. So yeah, it's incredible. So cool. But that's Final Fantasy VII has like the strangest and massive like history for a game. There is so much to that game; it's unbelievable. So yeah, this looks quite good. So definitely give it a read, people. If you're Final Fantasy VII fans, do give.
You do the voodoo.
I can't speak. Do give it a read.
Oh my goodness, we're a disaster. Let's just move on to your last story. Oh, we kind of already. Oh no, okay, go ahead. Tell us.
Should we do the ones to the side? No, we'll finish on that note. We'll finish on the side note.
Sure.
Fire Emblem's Heroes, as we said earlier, released today. Can you remember last week, One Jump? I said about an energy system.
Yes, it has an energy system, I hear.
Yeah, it has a stamina system. I'm a little bit disappointed. It's like Nintendo went to literally got half a dozen phones and said, right, download that RPG, that game, that game. Find me the money systems in each one. Let's cram them into this one.
Yep.
They've got two main ones in there: the stamina system and the pearl system, which obviously to buy your heroes. Um, that's all random, obviously. I You get 15 heroes, 15 heroes, 15 pearls for doing the tutorial. So I decided to spunk them all in, got them in, and I got like a 5-star hero on the third roll, which was cool. But and it's got adverts as well, which
Oh,
really,
okay. Now that bothers me.
yeah, which really upsets me. Whether that was something to do with the game, but definitely an advert popped up. So it was like three different ways of making money, yada yada yada,
Hmm.
out of one game, and it's like, Nintendo, you didn't need to do this. The Fire Emblem series is so big and so huge, especially Japan and the West. It's taken off in the West. You could have sold this at a decent price, and you could have had a really good game. But I feel that it's just going to fall into the category of these pay to win kind of
Well,
these.
this isn't really a pay to win thing.
Sorry, it's a more of a. But
It's more
there's a,
like
it
I
looks like
want
there's
to.
an arena in there. It
I
looks like
gotta.
there's an online mode as
Oh,
well.
okay.
So that that worries me that they are falling into that category of pay to win. Let me just quickly. It's got notifications as well, which also annoy the hell out of me. I've installed it on my phone. And I've had like 50 different notifications.
Wow, really?
Yeah, yeah. So let me hit this. I wish I could link this up and we could have done this. If I'd thought about this, we could have done this live. Um, but back in the main menu, you've got your home button. You've got Arena Duels, Training Tower, Special Maps, and something that's question mark. That must be coming later. But Arena Duels. So all of a sudden, this game shouts, screams, pay to win to you, depending on how their like MMR system is, depending on how they define you another player. Um, I'm not hopeful. I really think they could have done something completely better. Their pearls, I mean, there is 3 pearls, which isn't enough for a hero, is 199. This is obviously in UK money. 10 pearls is nearly 6 quid. It is 6 quid. And it's just extortionate. 140 pearls is £70. You know, we are or orbs. Sorry, they're not called pearls. They're called orbs.
Yeah, whatever they're
And
called.
it's a stamina system which I can't check how much it costs to refuel or what you use to refuel your stamina system. There's another one here. You can restore dueling swords when you have none remaining. So there you go. There's another restore system. So all of a sudden, and I know, Abigail, you can earn orbs by playing the game, but my argument is this: it's their orb to playing ratio. Do I have to grind my backside off to get enough orbs to then go out and pump them in and get a 3-star hero that I've already got? Now there is a Marvel game out there. I can't remember what it's called for the life of me, and it gives you it just gives you heroes for free every day. It's got a really good system. It's a little bit buy it, pay to win, but you don't need to. There's a little bit of grinding in it, but this does feel like one of them cheap, flimsy Korean pay to win RPGs. The battle system is great. The run jump, honestly, the battle system is cool. The animation is cool. The art style is amazing. But the actual game itself feels cheap and nasty.
Hmm. Well, the game is free, so try it out. And if it asks you to pay money, then don't, unless you are having a blast. I probably will check the game out. Um, I never put money into uh, these kind of games. For me, it's just not. It doesn't hold my attention enough. I think that Fire Emblem is a great system. It's interesting. I'll be interested to see how it translates to a small screen. That being said, it's free, so check it out if you are
Yeah,
interested. And it bothers me that there's ads in it. You know what makes me laugh the most at this is that Nintendo put out Super Mario Run, and they gave out 3 levels for free, and then charged $10 for the whole game, and everybody gave them horrible reviews for charging for a game.
yeah,
So now they're and obviously it's too soon for this to be a reaction to that. This has obviously been in development like this for quite a while. But Nintendo's going the complete opposite direction. I'm very interested to see, because it's a free game, and it's the kind of game that you find on phones all the time. I'm very curious to see how this fares in the reviews, because Nintendo said $10 you get the whole Super Mario Run game and you'll never have to pay another dime. And people they raked them across the coals. I bet that this game gets good reviews because it's free and you can play the whole game without spending any money if you are interested in doing that, probably. So I bet you that this will get great reviews despite the other monetization system of Super Mario Run being a much better monetization system.
Yeah.
That's
I've just seen
how I look at
the
it.
shop, and there's a barracks mode. There's you can expand your barracks, but you can only expand your barracks with orbs. So if you want to have more heroes in your roster, you have to use the premium currency.
Right, but you can earn that currency without.
Of course.
Without spending money.
I'm not disagreeing with that at all. But it would be nice to have another currency in the game that allows you to do some stuff. That's balance out with something.
I disagree. And here's why I disagree. I tried playing Final Fantasy. What the heck's it called?
Was it Record Keeper you played?
Record Keeper, yeah. I tried playing Final Fantasy Record Keeper, and they had like 4 different currencies or something like that. And so I looked at the game, and I'm going through the tutorial basically, and they're talking about all of these different currencies that you have, and I got confused. And maybe it's because I'm old, but I looked at that and I was like, this is not worth my time. This is way too much work to try and figure out how this game works. I would very much prefer just one currency because that's easy to keep track of. I can't stand it in games like Guild Wars 2. They have gold, they have gems, and then they have that wallet that has all that other crap in it. Now, I know why they do it. They do it so that you can't just farm gold, and then when new content comes out, buy all the new stuff with the gold that you farmed. They want you to experience the new content before you get the new stuff. And that makes sense, but it's also a pain. And it's confusing. I don't like that. But anyway, that's beside the point. I'm going to reserve judgment until I play the game. That being said, it's not the kind of game that I usually like.
No.
I don't like gacha games. But let's talk really quick about a lawsuit of all things. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, Kodiak. I heard this on the radio as well, but Kodiak linked it on our Discord, on your Discord for the podcast, and it basically was about ZeniMax won a lawsuit against Oculus. So anybody who doesn't know, Facebook owns Oculus now. Facebook bought them in 2014.
I think so.
Yeah, so Mark Zuckerberg. Oculus quickly was founded and created by Lucky Palmer, and I think there was a couple other dudes, and then Zuckerberg bought them out. I won't obviously get into Palmer Lucky. Is he Lucky Palmer or Palmer Lucky? One of the two, whatever his name is, which I won't get into too much about Lucky because he's had a bit of, last year or so, he's been a bit checkered.
It's Palmer Lucky.
Palmer Lucky, that's right, yeah. So he's a bit of a checkered character. I think they even stopped him going to one of the VR shows last year. But anyway, ZeniMax basically say that the the Oculus was stolen. The idea it was copyrighted and stolen and then built by Oculus and then sold by Oculus, and the court won today in favour of ZeniMax and Oculus or Facebook. How we want? They got paid $500 million to ZeniMax, and also ZeniMax I don't know if they will. They're looking to quite possibly get an injunction on the Rift, the Oculus Rift, to actually stop people buying it, so take it off the store shelves. Which is kind of fair enough. At the end of the day, if at the end of the day, in a court of law, England is the same as America. You're innocent until you're proven guilty. Those guys were proven that they had stolen this idea, or how it. Well, I don't understand lawsuits enough to give you the legal babble.
Yeah, I'm the
Kind of
same
doing
way.
this in kind of layman terms. They, the court saw that ZeniMax had an idea and it was stolen from them, or there was inside trading, or something happened that ZeniMax lost out on their VR technology, the tech, not the actual way the headset looked, but the tech and stuff like that. And Oculus built this and sold it. So if ZeniMax do, and I kind of hope they do, because at the end of the day, they're in their own right to say, look, we want a court injunction to now stop you selling Oculus Rift headsets. And that's fair enough. That's
My only problem with this story, and I don't have much else to say other than this, is that ZeniMax waited until Facebook bought Oculus before filing the suit. Oculus was around a while before Facebook purchased them, and they waited until somebody with big pockets came along before they made the lawsuit, and that just bugs me. That seems kind of slimy to me. But if Palmer Luckey stole their stuff and then sold it to Facebook, then they deserve to get their money. Some people are saying that, is this gonna hurt Facebook? Facebook has so much money. They like $500 million. That's like me getting a speeding ticket, and they're like, well, it's $20 or a parking ticket, maybe a parking ticket. I get fined $15 for a parking ticket. I'd be like, well, all right, I guess I shouldn't have done that.
But I did read today that Facebook are paying $200 million, and Palmer Luckey and the other guys have to make the rest up. So Facebook isn't actually paying all of it. And it does say here, I will just put this in, while not awarding any money on this count, hang on, not that bit. The jury also found that ID Software co-founder and current Oculus CTO John Carmack took Rage source code and thousands of electronic files on a USB storage device which contained ZeniMax VR technology when he left the company. So that's what they're talking about. That's where the issue lies. The USB storage device that had the VR tech by ZeniMax was on there, and he took it. And obviously, when he went to Oculus, so there you go. Don't mess with ZeniMax, because apparently they'll sue you.
All right. Well, that's it for the headlines, but we have the next segment, which is called Game Off. Every week, Zap and I try and come up with a game that we think everybody should try, and this week is no different. We let you guys vote on what game which game people should try. Last week was really weird because Zap and I both said a Final Fantasy game. I picked Final Fantasy 1. He picked Final Fantasy 7. And the results are that Final Fantasy 7 killed it with many, many votes. So 83% of the votes were for 7. I think that Zap is a cheater, and that's all there is to it. I'm just kidding. He's not a cheater. So I lost. And that's okay. This week, however, we're going to talk about some different games. I am going to start us off, and I can't click on the link. There we go. I decided that everybody should play Super Crate Box, which is a free game on Steam. It is a single screen game where you've got one screen and there's these enemies moving around, and every time you kill an enemy, let me refresh the video. Every time you kill an enemy, they drop a box, or not every time, but they have the chance to drop a box. And if they drop a box, you go pick up the box, and it changes your weapon to a new weapon. And it is incredibly addictive. You get one life, and then you start back over, and it has this idea of one more turn, one more turn, one more turn. I can do it this
Mm.
time. I'm going to finish it this time. One more turn. And it's very, very fun. Each weapon has a different use. You can throw like these frisbees out and it'll cut the enemies in half, or you can use like shotguns or a grenade launcher or a rocket launcher or whatever. And the enemies fall from the top, and then they make their way down to the bottom, and you have to try and kill them before they land in the fire at the bottom. If you kill the fire, or if you kill the enemies before they land in the fire at the bottom, then that's great, because if you don't, they come back from the top, and now they're more powerful and faster. It's a free game, so check it out and enjoy. What game did you decide to bring to the game off today, Zap?
Um, I have a question. Do you like puzzle games, One Jump? Are you a puzzle fan?
Depends on the kind of puzzle game. What kind of puzzle game are you talking about?
Well, how would you like a puzzle game with sadistic little murders right at the end, and you create these little murders? Well, today's my game, and I've been playing this a lot on stream, and I couldn't resist putting it in. It's one of my actual favourite series of all time, and the game that I'm bringing this week is Hitman 2016. It's the current Hitman game.
Wait a second. Hold on. Hitman is a puzzle game?
Hitman is a puzzle. Let me explain, all right? And it wasn't until I looked at it as a puzzle game when I really saw how wonderful Hitman is. Now, I've always played Hitman. Hitman's been part of my life ever since it came out. And even in Hitman 2016, it has some of the most quirky, some of the weirdest bugs in the world.
Well, right now their website is, or the Steam site, I can't bring up video of it for some reason.
No idea why.
Like it won't...
But they basically, some of the weird things, like when he changes into another uniform, just this pile of clothes is left in the corner, and it's like, okay, yeah, they've never tidied those sort of things up. But anyway, that's kind of the beautiful things that stick with it. But Hitman as a puzzle game, what it is you've got to go from A, you are A, you are Hitman, and your targets are B. That's where you've got to go. But it's getting in to A, it's getting into B. And you have layers of puzzles, so you have to work out how you go from point A and go, okay, right, so I can walk around this area, but I want to be in the next area. But I need a uniform. I need something. I need a way in. Okay, how do I get in? Okay, so let me have the uniform. Let me sneak in, this way. Let me find another way. And I think the best way I could ever explain this is the base game is like $11.99, $13, $14, $15. And the level 2, Sapienza, which is in Italy, and it's the best playground ever. If you don't know, Hitman 2016 was episodic. They are now releasing it as a full game for normal game price. It has 6 main missions plus a bonus mission for that, but there is hours of content, and they've just released what they call professional mode, where you go back and it basically puts Hitman on one life, one shot kill, that kind of stuff. And you have to be, a silent assassin. And people are still probably looking at me going, how is this a puzzle game? But
this is a stealth game. You're crazy.
I class it as a stealth puzzle game because every time you hit a wall, like in a puzzle game, you need to work out how to get around that wall or over the wall or under the wall. You need to work out what is the missing pieces to the puzzle to get you into the next area. And for instance, you could be wearing a certain uniform that gives you freedom in one place, and as soon as you walk into another, even though it's connected, you're trespassing. You have to work out how to get, or when you're in a certain uniform type, there are certain enemies that can detect you because they don't recognize you. It's working how to get through stuff, and it's such a glorious game. And when I first bought it, I kind of dismissed it because it was episodic. But do you know what? It's been the best thing for this series, is being episodic, because they've had time to craft and sculpture these levels. So honestly, guys, if you really want a game that's going to test this, as well as making you feel, I tell you what, you feel evil, but so good at the same time, when you walk through a level and you get the perfect kill, and it's like, I've just done that without being spotted, without being noticed. All right, I've killed 50 people behind me, but no one can find the bodies, but I've done it. And you get the kill, and it's like, I feel really good. I feel excellent. Oh, alarm's been triggered. And then it's all hell breaks loose. So, it's a great game. Seriously, go out and try it, because it is worth every penny.
Awesome. Well, it sounds interesting. I'll definitely
Dragon Tears in chat says the game we played yesterday where he shot everyone is a full game. Yes, because that was a way of solving a puzzle. Just literally get rid of everyone. Oh, I'm sorry. That tickled me.
Oh, okay.
Brilliant.
Cody, I was trying to make the poll and I kept screwing it up. Oh, for crying out loud! All right, I
Wait,
guess
this
I'll
is
make.
going well. I'm watching chat and it's like, run jump. You know that your bot's going to tell you off for spamming in a minute.
I know. We talk about your wish list. The next, you guys know the next section. It's wish list. You go ahead and talk about your wish list game while I make the straw poll for the game off.
My wish list on today is Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. There you go. As I said earlier, there was a little segment that I think.
Well, this has been a really square heavy thing today.
It's square unbelievable. So it's a bit of a square podcast. Anyway, so basically Deus Ex Human Revolution is something that I'm going to be playing back through on stream. And I remember how good this game was. I mean, Deus Ex Human Revolution is just such a good game. And this is on sale. This is 70% off at the minute. Wow. Damn. That's a lot of a reduction. And it's worth every penny, I think. Even though it's got mixed reviews and it had a bit of a strange kind of release, and it's not been the best of things for it, but I want to see how the story progresses and see what they do. So, yeah, on my wish this week is Deus Ex: Mankind Divided.
And if you don't know anything about it, this is like a dystopian future where humans can augment themselves to have extra abilities, and you're the badass, and you can go through.
Adam Jensen, who is just a complete and utter badass.
You can go through and kick everyone's tail and be awesome, and it's got you can either go through and stealth your way through, or you can be Captain Shooterman. It's really up to you, and I really need to get back and play that first one, or the first new one.
It's a stealth puzzle game.
It's a stealth puzzle game. No, I'm not. No, you're done.
You stop that.
All right.
No.
Let's or I'm going to go ahead and bring up mine, which is Double Dragon 4. I guess I don't have to bring it up. I forgot. We already talked about it. So, Double Dragon 4, that's on my wish list. That's the game that's another game that I want to get. I can't decide where I want to get it. Either on Steam or PS4. I can't decide. It looks great, and my son and I will have a blast playing it. So, those are our games for the wish list. That's it for the show today, guys. So
get it on Steam.
Zap says to get it on Steam.
It's cheaper on Steam. I've just checked the PSN store. It's like double the price on the PlayStation store.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll definitely get it on Steam. Awesome. So that's it for the show this week. If you guys want to support the show, the number one way that you can do is just go to iTunes, even if you don't listen to it on iTunes. Just go to iTunes and give us a review there. It helps us get up higher on the charts, and people will be able to find the show better. If you want to be part of the show, you can send us an email. That's runjumpstomp@gmail.com, or you can leave us a voicemail, and we'll play that on the stream. That's 260-RUN-JUMP. That's 260-786-5867. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube at RunJumpStomp. And Zap, where is it that people are going to be able to track you down?
On Twitter and Twitch, it's at DJ Zap, and on YouTube, it's Django Zap.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody, for coming by. We had a blast, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It broke again. It's just... There we go. I don't know what the problem is. Stupid thing. I'm leaving it in, too. I'm leaving it in.
That just sums up the whole podcast this evening.
That was kind of a disaster, wasn't it?
That just started badly, and it was a good show though. A really good show.
Fun. It was definitely fun.
Show, that was. Oh man, that was one of the longer ones for a while actually.
It was. That's an hour and 31 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, my friend who he drives lorries. He's listened to our podcast while he's driving a lorry, and he complained because the last couple have been quite short. complained. He's like, I want longer podcasts. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. So yeah, no, it's good. It's good show.
63. Hey, how are we doing in the poll? Dragon Tears wanted to know: is it which one we want to win, or which one she would rather try, or which one is better?
Well,
Whichever one you want to vote for. It's up to you, Dragon Tears.
wow. Well, I'm guessing everyone's voting for which one they want to win because the best game's not winning.
It's not.
No,
So you're winning.
No, you're winning.
Of course I am. Super Crate Box is awesome. Hitman looks
Yeah,
like trash.
That looked awesome. I'm going to download it because that looked really cool. But that kind of game looks like it wouldn't be very good for my rage.
Oh no! Yeah. Well, but the thing is that the second that you die, you immediately start another level. So it's got this feedback mechanism of well, the level already restarted. I might as well just do it again, and so you just get sucked right in.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm going to download it and have a look. But yeah, it sucks about Fire Emblem, man. I'd give it a go. See if it's out for you yet. Give it a go.
It's not. I've been checking through the whole podcast.
And then let us know what you think next week. But I'm a little bit disappointed, especially like with the DS game, how solid it is, and like one thing I've appreciated from it is the battle system is very good. I know they've got to tone it down for mobiles, but adding all that other junk, it just feels like they've added stuff they didn't need to a game that didn't need it.
Yeah.
Games like that with a name like that can carry themselves.
Especially because they have so many Fire Emblem games to pull from. They could have just grabbed an old one and said, "We're just going to adapt this to iOS, and we'll sell it for $10." But then again, I'm and I know I said this during the podcast, but I'm really, really interested in seeing how the gaming public reacts to this, what kind of reviews it gets, because in the iOS App Store, Mario Run got gutted, and that was a shame because that game is really, really fun. And the reason it got gutted is because Nintendo gave away free levels first.
People got greedy.
Yeah, well, if they hadn't given away free levels first, then only people who paid for it would be able to review it. So what happened is everybody went out and tried it, and then when they found out that it wasn't a free game, then they got mad, and that's what they reviewed was the price, not the game. And I think $10 for that game is great. I stopped playing it probably 2 weeks after I got it, but I easily put more time into Super Mario Run than I did any other game on my phone, because I really don't game on my phone that much. I always think I'm going to, and I never do.
I got Hearthstone installed on my phone. It's the only place I actually have the Hearthstone installed now. I'm on the verge of installing it. I might have to talk about Hearthstone next week actually, because I've got some serious issues with that game at the minute. It's the first Blizzard game where I've gone, do you know what? I want to break it. I might do that next week. But yeah, I'm now looking at the reviews on the Android store, and it's got 4.5 stars. It's been out yesterday. It's already had up to 100,000 downloads, and it's all 5-star reviews. It's all, apart from someone who keeps getting a network error, communication errors. It's errors to do. That's the other thing I don't like. It's constantly connected to the internet. I know they're doing that to stop cheaters. But, it's just like these games these days have got to be connected to the internet all the time. And it's like, it's... Someone put here, and this is quite fitting, a good Fire Emblem... This is done by Abby Wright. A good Fire Emblem mobile game, especially considering that this has a new venture for the franchise. However, orbs are very expensive to buy, £2 for 3, which is what I said in the podcast. And there's no one guaranteed unlocking rare heroes with them. So you can end up using a lot of them. There are 2 given, so you get 2 orbs for free daily, and 1 of each completed stage, but each summon requires 5. Yeah, so you basically, by the sounds of it, you get 2 each day, and then you get 1 orb for completing each stage. Now I understand why they put the stamina system in it, so you can't just spam getting new heroes. At the same time, it's like, your balance between how much your heroes cost and how many orbs you kind of give out to make me not want to put money in. That's my argument with it. there's not the balance there for me personally. So you like I say, you'll have to check it out, see what you think, and
Well,
let us know.
I want to respond to some stuff in chat. Is that people think that for a mobile game is a thing that should be said when you're talking about a price. I totally disagree. I think that, especially at as Ken Sikel, whose name's I always screw up his name. He says 99% of mobile games should be between $1 and $5. Only ever $5 if it's perfectly optimized and has zero in-app purchases. So first off, I want to respond to that. My first thing is I totally agree that if you pay for a game, there should not be in-app purchases. I agree with that. But video games take development. There are costs to developing a video game. And just because it's on your phone doesn't mean that the people who made that game shouldn't be paid for their work. Now, if they choose to monetize it through in-app purchases, then that's how they're going to be paid for their work. But if somebody sells a game and they say, here's the price, you're going to get everything, and then we're done, I think that asking for more for that is perfectly reasonable if it's a good game. A good game is a good game no matter what platform it's on. And this race to the bottom with prices only hurts the gaming industry, in my opinion, because it makes it harder for small companies to develop games. A small company, they can't compete with the big companies if the big companies have all these resources from all over the place, and they can say, all right, well, we're going to make a game, we're going to sell it for $1 because we are making money elsewhere, and then we can get advertisement or something like that. Whereas a small company, if that's their only focus is to make this one game for your phone, and they can only charge between $1 and $5 for it, then it's going to be really hard for them to turn a profit. And it's going to make it so that there's fewer and fewer small developers, and everything that you buy on the App Store or the Google Play Store is going to end up being from the same 2 or 3 companies. That's how I look at it. And I also, as also says, he views games in how many hours I am going to get per dollar spent. I don't look at that at all. For me personally, if I spend $60 on a game and it's a 10-hour game and I was entertained for that 10 hours, then I'm totally fine with that. A lot of people railed against the Order 1866 or whatever the name is for being too short of a game. I have the opposite problem. There are many games that I get that I don't finish because they're too friggin' long to hold my attention. There's too many games out there, and I don't need every game to be a giant 60-hour epic. And yes, there should be things where how do I phrase this? And I'm talking for too long, but there should be different price tiers out there. So yes, there's $20 games. Yes, there's $40 games. Yes, there's $60 games, and I'm sure that there's 99-cent games, but by having everything on mobile be $5 or less, you're diminishing the amount of good stuff that you can get on here. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favourite mobile games is XCOM, Enemy Within. You know, they ported it over to the mobile, and it's an amazing game. It really, really is, and it's a tenner. It's £10, and that's worth every single penny. I kind of view it the same as yourself. I don't see video gaming industry is now it's more about entertainment. It's an art and entertainment, you know. And those games that you pay for 13, 14, 15 hours, if I pay £40 for it and it's got a really poor story, then I'm disappointed. The Last of Us apparently is like a 15-hour game or something, but it's apparently an amazing game. So, you know, do give us. You know, it's very difficult to know what to charge and what the price should be and all that kind of stuff. But no, back to Fire Emblem. Like I say, give us your thoughts next week whenever it turns up in your region.
Yeah, and you know what? That's something else that would be good is those people that are watching, download the game, try it out, let us know what you think. Just email us. But we're
Yeah,
all
yeah.
done, and I can tell that Zap's wife is giving him the eyeball, and it's time
She's
to
always
go.
giving me the damn eyeball. Uh, so, all right, yeah. So I'm gonna probably set me up for half an hour, and then help. So if you want to host us,
Yeah, definitely. Listen, man, one more thing.
come
Stop
on.
turning your head.
Sorry, I force a habit. Because I hear there's like noises, even when there's no one down here. Because I've got like really my ears. If I hear a slight noise, I'm like that, and it's like such a force of habit. So I'll try and break it for next week.
All
I
right.
have something like there every time I turn my head up. Ow.
That would be awesome. All right, take it easy.
Yeah.
And thanks everyone for coming by. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Where's the button? There it is. Bye everybody.